Hello guys. We're finally having the last week, huh? So I'm going to finish this painting today. We're gonna use a little more, close to size that you guys have, the brush, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use some of the small brush strokes to like fill some parts to like stand out and make some more like 3D sort of structures. So I'll say, let's say that I want to put some of the circly, no, like small square brush marks over here, right? And then I'm gonna use like another brush to actually make that light. Or, you know. So for the last touch, I'll say, as long as you can make some differences between the last week painting and now the this week painting, try to follow the instruction that I do here, but you can also make some, your own moves without thinking about my painting too much, because I think that some of you guys made like beautiful like brush marks that like it's only like coming from you, so I don't want to push too much of like my thing in your painting. So you see, like, I'm just trying to add some of the details now that I'm missing from the last week. More the small marks that I didn't have. Some of the shapes that breaking the the space more. So let's say I had that sort of shape. I never had that shape anywhere. So I'm trying to put more of that shape in there. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of darker color to the ultramarine color that I have. So then darken some parts that I left out. Maybe like this part of painting has only the only the brighter part of the painting, so I try to add this kind of color more. Sort of like, because of last week I try to use some of the different brush marks, also different colors scheme in this painting. You still like need to put some of the dull colors. Some of you guys only had like really good colors in your painting, so try to go back to watch the last week video as well as this week video together, so that you can find a balance in your work. Like, you can't just only use good colors in your painting. That will only make your painting having that sort of like very shallow level of like layers. Once you put down some of the dull color or the opaque color that wasn't existing in your work, that's gonna where it brings more like depth in your spaces. So I'm trying to show you that, since this part of the painting doesn't have much of space, so I'm like trying to create that kind of moves. And also, if I add more of that color in there, then you can, the other parts goes underneath, but then you use that color to sort of like kind of, make some accent color over there. You can do that too. And then maybe I'll mix one side of the brush this color and the other side of brush the other color, darker color, right? And then say maybe over here. I didn't really like that, so we can actually blend that out too, right? Then I'll put small one here, I'll say. Then, you know, you can put more, like breaking down the strokes, right? Here too, and then you go back to use a little more darker color to bring it in, and then sort of making that, and then blend it out with the bright color so that it becomes more like 3D in there too, right? So I don't really like this layer being just flat, so I brought that in. See how it changed the whole thing over there, right? I don't really have much of vertical moves over there, so I'm putting that too. Maybe over here, right? Maybe over. Sorry about the pause. So what I did, I put white color in there, right? And then I put this over it. And do you see how that creates some different brush marks that you never had, right? And then, you know, give us some accent to the colors over here and there, right? You put that over there too, right? And then I'm gonna bring the white back into the surface, right? Maybe, you know, like how these all have really much of just like small marks and like not much of a big moves now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do like a really wild move now, right? So I'm gonna mix the white, okay? And then I'm gonna bring this huge marks that connects to the bottom parts. Like you see how this white sort of like creates some different shapes over there, right? And then you sort of put that color down so that it's not so obvious, right? It's not so obvious now. But you still see the big moves, you know? Now I don't have much of diagonal that part. So I'm gonna push a little bit of that. Also, do you remember like I had a little bit of like zigzag marks over here? So I'm gonna do that kind of move. Another moves, right? And then I'm gonna go back to use more of that ultramarine mixed with cobalt color. So I'm gonna put that in, right? And then I'm gonna use even more white to bring the dots that I had, right? Dots. Kind of want to like keep moving around to put these colors in, but so like I'm giving more heavy moves over here, And then here, I'm like sort of leaving it out, but like you might want to like fill some parts out, right? You don't want to like make it busy in the entire picture, but you want to like give some more intensity like over here, and then you're gonna move along to soften some parts out, you know? But you still want to keep the goodness in the painting. So like you have a freshness, but you're not losing the freshness, but then you're still being able to put more layers to it. Does it make sense? So I'm gonna do that. So you see how I'm not afraid to put colors or marks in it. It's only because you're practicing. Like you're not making, like you're not trying to, like once you're trying to make like, let's say like masterwork, that's where you start to fail. Like that's where you start to be hesitated to like make some good moves in the work that like comes out of like some intuitive moments, you know? So you kind of like want to keep moving around, but like also you got to trust yourself, right? And like don't like think that like you're making like really much about, you know, making it good. Does it make sense? Okay, so I'll say I'm like done with some of the, like most of the detail parts, I'll say. Like I don't want to do it anymore because I think that I can like ruin the painting. Like you sort of need to know like when to stop. But then I'm going to put like some of the thicker marks over here, there. Like I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And then we're going to really actually end the painting. Okay? So this is about only 5 minutes, but I'm going to like finish up with like smaller marks. So I'm like almost done, but like not really done. So like what I'm gonna do, mix the white. So I'm gonna like bring that thing over here again. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I think it's done. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you guys more like details of the work. See, I'm gonna move down, go to the right, I'm gonna go up. The whole picture, then I'm gonna go down. I'm also gonna take a picture, so don't worry about it, you know. Okay. Cool. Hey guys, I'm back. So the paintings are dried, and I was going to show you some different skills today, but also I'm very sorry that my hands were covering some of the mark making that I was doing. Since this painting, I can't really fix much. Trying to like go back to watch it a lot so that you can see which area I put in. Since it's the last week, it's more of like imprint to make some of the decisions that might be from your own decisions, like where like you see like some of the paintings that you mimicked, right, from you guys mimicked my move, but then you sort of like don't really know what parts, or how can I explain? So like some parts are very different than mine, so you might want to adjust that your own, right? So what I'm going to use you know, the Utrecht Artist Color Acrylic Series 2, Cerulean Blue Hue. This is called Heavy Body, but it's okay if you only have the regular you know, acrylic colors. What I like to do, I'm gonna like squeeze it out, right? And then you know, if you have those kind of like papers, you can use them. I'm gonna use paper and these. So you know, like the sponge thing that you have. I don't know if you guys have it, but like I have some of these, so you can purchase those. It's really cheap. I don't know what it's called, but like it's probably the sponge tool if you like Google it. If you need the information, let me know. I'll Google it and then post, right? So here, what I like to do, if you only have a limited amount of like materials, let's say, right? What you can do, you can even like cut this, right? And then have it like folded, cut it and fold, right? So it's like small but like sturdy, right? So I'm using like those sketchbook pieces that I normally do. You can scoop these out of the paint. Oh, well, it dropped over there, so I'm gonna use that, I guess. And then I'm gonna bring some of the white color here to actually make some thicker marks. You see? So that's really thick right now. And then add more white, right? And then maybe I'll bring this more like that. So you see, this is like being thick. Like, I'll show you more later, right? And then maybe I'll put more of those marks over here. You can like squeeze out of the tube, right? Then you still have some of the white left. Now I'll use like some dark color over it and then squeeze it out too, right? Then I have some leftovers. I'm gonna put that down. And then I'm gonna use some of the leftover paint from the palette so you can bring more layer to it, right? Maybe I'll put more in here. Okay. Put my white in my paper and then maybe squeeze it down, right? Literally squeeze it down. Then I have like leftover over here, right? So like let's say that I did that and I have like leftover in the back and the front, right? So I'm gonna do maybe like over here, looks empty. So I'm gonna put leftover colors. And then I'll even bring more paint from the palette, you know, like that. Like you see, like I squeeze all of that, right? So some parts I'm just gonna, you know, put some of the marks down, and I'm gonna leave these kind of random marks over there so that I'm balancing it out, and I'm gonna push it down too. So now it's all of the marks that I'm making over here. They're like all thick. So I'm gonna show you like how thick these are by going around, right, with the. Okay, so this is about done, right? And I'm going to show you guys how thick these are by just showing. Guess I think I have to sort of I'm gonna show you like this. I don't know if you see it. I'll take different pictures so you can track it better, you know.